everyone. This is Elliot Serrano and Jose Melendez coming to you from Dreamland Comics in Schaumburg, Illinois. Thank you for joining us here on CCW TV, where we have conversations about comics, and Jose and I are probably call us the curmudgeonly critics of comic crap.
Where would you come up with that?
I thought of that on the way here today. I wanted to come up with some sort of alliterative term.
Yeah, you should have run that by me before I said it.
Last week we were unable to record any new segments, but it didn't really matter because we had enough segments from the previous week that ran us through. If anything,
we spread them out a little bit.
We spread them out. Well, the 300 rule. Remember, the 300 rule got us through. And again, Last Rants, as always, tends to be the most popular segment. And I got to say, our Last Rants from the last series was pretty good. Got a lot of nice conversation going. Double dipping in my ass. Right. And you guys also heeded your call. You suggested a bunch of stuff that you wanted us to talk about. But unfortunately, you guys have also asked us to talk about things that we can't talk about just yet because, one, we have not had a chance to see Paranormal Activity. We're going to have to talk about that. We were also asked to talk about several video games, which we have not had a chance to play. But other things, in fact, there is a book that you guys asked us to review that we will be addressing this week. So, let's jump into it. This book here starts off, is going to start off a tiny little rant of mine, but let's talk about the good stuff. Batman, number 691, the second part of, and the last part of the Judd Winnick...
Or the fourth part.
Sorry. The last part of the Judd Winnick, Mark Bagley run. Where, we were saying, when we were first talking about when Judd Winnick came on board, Judd showed an incredible adeptness for handling the character of Batman with Dick Grayson under the cowl. And with this part of the story arc, he kind of wraps everything up, actually wraps it up quite nicely before handing the title over to Tony Daniel. But he resolves the issue of this new persona that Batman has, and Dick having to come to terms with how certain villains, or how villains in general, are going to view him. And at the very last, at the end here, it is revealed who this villain who was tormenting him, and I don't think it came as a surprise to anybody, that it was Two-Face. And not Two-Face in a Batman costume, as was hinted in the previous issue, but just something that Dick's own subconscious was showing him after Two-Face drugged him. We also see how it is, for a while there we were thinking that Batman's paranoia was a little out of hand, like he really didn't need to be so paranoid and be so, plan A, plan B, contingency plan C, D, E, F. Well, now we know why.
Yeah.
Now we know why the Batman and why Bruce really went to the extreme lengths that he did, because the moment you let your guard down, as Dick has learned, the shit hits the fan. So, I gotta say, for the most part, there's a big confrontation between Harvey Dent and Dick Grayson in the Batcave, where, again, Winnick does a nice job of pulling all the themes together and resolving the whole plot issue, and, again, showing the difference between the Dick Grayson Batman and the Bruce Wayne Batman, even brings Alfred in to play a key role in defeating Two-Face. I won't say much more. But I gotta say, I'm gonna miss Winnick on the book. I am. I'm gonna miss him. He's gonna do a really nice job with this. But what happens, and again, as you're saying, Winnick does pass the baton to Tony Daniel, who's gonna take over with the next issue. He does. He does one of the most ridiculous things. I can't believe how ridiculous it is that he's doing what he did. So, before I get into that, were there any insights to the book that you wanted to offer?
No.
Okay, because
I actually no. The run was good. It was a good, satisfying ending, and like the very last page actually is on a cliffhanger, which I think is probably not going to be resolved in the Tony Daniel run, but is going to be probably the beginning of the story when Winnick comes back to the book.
I think Daniel's going to have like a 6-issue run.
6 issues, 6 fucking months.
So that's like a half a year of Tony Daniel, which and I've checked out like the DC Nation boards. There are folks really looking forward to Tony Daniel being back on Batman. They're loving it. I've seen a couple folks comment on how they love Battle for the Cowl, and although they hope that the writing is better when it comes, when Tony comes up, like they're hoping his writing improves. But I know it's what's evident here is that we are in the minority when it comes to Tony Daniel's ability as a writer, I guess. But people love his art; they love his artwork. So, it's a good thing that bet that we almost made wasn't made because and DC's pushing Tony Daniel coming back to the Batman book for sure. Yeah. I mean, they're really pushing it. Yeah, they want to make sure that it doesn't miss a step.
It wasn't in this fucking thing. Here's the thing. So, on the DC books that you bought this week, I don't think it started last week. I think it was this week. Get to see a full-page ad. Of course, like now I picked up a DC Comics. It's not going to fucking be in here because I don't even know if this thing had any ads.
I don't think it's in that one. Is it in that one? It is that one, yeah.
No, it's not this one. This is from... Yeah, it wasn't in this one. What the fuck is it? God damn it. Alright, well, fucking talk.
Great big full-page ad. Instead of advertising a video game or something where it would benefit DC to make a little, little money.
Like a full-page ad in all of DC Comics this week for this to let everyone know that Tony Daniel's coming back from Batman. And my question to Elliot when I told him, like, how is this beneficial to the Batman title? If anything, this is a detriment. This is letting people know that, hey, Tony Daniel's coming back. Guess what? You don't have to buy the book for another 6 months. It's just going to kill the sales. Like, why would you warn people like that?
No, they're hyping it. It's Tony Daniel returns at Gotham City.
And they couldn't even, get, a decent... Well, asking Tony Daniel to draw anything decent is fucking... it's impossible. But, they couldn't even, get, a decent, Batman picture. I'm assuming that this is probably for one of his covers. And it's not even that good.
It's kind of an odd pose, yeah. But it is the writer and artist of Batman Battle for the Cowl. I mean, they're really pushing that too. So it's not like DC is trying to push, trying to ignore or shun Battle for the Cowl. They're sticking to that. So
yeah, which I have no idea why they're.
We've had that argument before, but yeah. So yeah, Winnick, being the class act that he is, he passes the baton to Tony Daniel. Ending this issue of Batman the same way the first issue of Battle for the Cowl began, with, and I'm telling you right now, you would think after Battle for the Cowl, they would learn, don't fucking transport villains using convoys. Because just like in Battle for the Cowl #1, the convoy gets ambushed by a bunch of villains, led by the Black Mask, and
just like in Battle for the Cowl.
In Battle for the Cowl, exact same thing. You'd think one of them would say, "Hey, when we do that, bad shit tends to happen." So they're transporting Two-Face, and Two-Face has been freed by whom? The Black Mask, who we haven't seen since the end of Battle for the Cowl. I just find
we have. You just haven't been reading it.
I haven't been reading it. Well, that shows again some of my apathy for the main... I mean, again, I've been reading Batman and Robin and Detective Comics. Those are the only two Batman books I've been reading. why Judd Winnick would repeat that again, I don't understand.
This goes back to me thinking that they, like Judd Winnick and everybody else who's writing it, Paul Dini, like didn't give a shit about Battle for the Cowl, so they didn't even read it. So maybe it was just a coincidence because
well, and I mean we all
could have happened again.
Well,
either that or the fact that Judd Winnick was like, "Well, you're taking over, Tony Daniel. Why don't you why don't you give me some ideas how you want me to end my story arc, so you can get into it, with both feet just running." It's like, well, then Tony Daniel was probably like, "Well, why don't you have the Black Mask free Two-Face in the convoy?" And Judd Winnick was probably like, "You mean like you didn't Battle for the Cowl #1?" And Tony Daniel was like, "Yeah, this is a great idea. Just do it like that. I don't want to think of something new. Why don't you just do that? I got enough on my plate. I got to write 6 fucking issues of Batman. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do." It's like, I'm going to stretch. I got to stretch this 2-issue story that I wrote into 6 issues. So just go ahead and do that. I can't think of anything right now. I'm too busy.
Oh, wow. Well, you know what? That's the one wart on this story. Is a way.
And I don't think it was Judd Winnick's idea. I think it was Tony Daniel's input into this.
And that's like, if you take out these 4 pages of that setup, and you just go back again to the end where you get Judd Winnick sets up his own cliffhanger, like you said,
which is so much more interesting.
It's real interesting, actually. Well, we'll see. We'll see.
But it's one of these things that this plot thread, we just said, this at the end of this issue, is probably not going to be resolved until when it comes back on, and it's like 6 months.
And we're talking like 2010.
I could be fucking dead by then. So maybe I'll never know what happens with Dick Grayson and his family now. Thanks, Tony Daniel. Jesus.
We'll end this review on that note. When we come back, we will talk about a Marvel book that was actually surprisingly good. We'll see you then.